Everybody, welcome back to the video podcast of my book, Acting at the Speed of Life, Conquering Theatrical Style. As I mentioned last time, these recent pandemic years have gotten me more and more adept at video recording, and I've built up a shiny new video channel, breakneckshakespeare.com. Rather than releasing the whole book in an audio edition, I'm releasing it in video podcast format over multiple installments. This is video number 2 of that series featuring the preface. I hope you enjoy it. If you'd like a copy of my book, you can find it at several of the online booksellers out there, or you can order one from me directly at timmooney.com. I'd be happy to sign it for you. Here we go. Preface. We all want to know just why the author has called us here tonight, and the modern actor runs interference between us and the playwright. What are the actor's 2 most fundamental responsibilities? I like to kickstart each workshop with this question, if only to startle actors out of their inertia. Responses fly back at me. Being in character, memorizing your lines. As a playwright, I like that answer. Feeling the emotion, understanding the play, communicating the meaning of the play. As answers go, this one is actually pretty close, but too elaborate for our needs. I encourage them. Think simpler, much more basic. Pursuing the objective, connecting with your fellow actors, connecting with yourself. All these are great answers. None of them happen to be the specific ones that I'm looking for, but they're great answers. They're not done yet. Listening, telling the story, having fun, entertaining the audience. There's a moment of silence. No more guesses? All right, here are my 2, and as soon as I say the first one, you're going to guess the second one. Are you ready? The first one is being seen. And the second? Being heard. Exactly. Now, if I was talking to a group of med students and asking them about what the 2 most fundamental responsibilities of a doctor were, they would all pretty much come up with the same 2 things, something to do with, first of all, do no harm, and second, save the patient. If I was talking to a group of law students about what the 2 most fundamental responsibilities of a lawyer were, they would all pretty much agree with, don't incriminate your client and win the case. But when I talk with a group of artists, and especially actors, the answers that I get are all over the map. First of all, acting is an incredibly subjective experience, an art form in which the canvas, as it were, is one's own body, one's voice, and psychological makeup. The actor lives perpetually on the inside, looking out from the work that he or she is creating. Beyond this, though, acting study has splintered into a myriad of schools of thought, and each teacher has their own school from which they have emerged and their own reaction to that school, to the extent that they are rebelling against it, embracing it, or promoting it. They also have a wide variety of practical applications of this material, as each individual student has their own very specific needs, which leads the teacher to impress the importance of different elements of their system to different degrees, so that multiple students of the same teacher will come away with a variety of impressions about the relative importance of those fundamental responsibilities. Being seen and being heard. Everything else, yes, everything else needs to build on top of this. You say you've got the most textured, detailed, nuanced, passionate inner life ever witnessed on stage. Great, bring it on, use it. But if you aren't being seen or heard, nobody will be able to penetrate the wall of incomprehensibility enough to care. Why isn't this simple assertion the most important thesis of our acting textbooks? Maybe it's just so damn obvious and we feel like we've got to have something more subtle to write about or to teach about. Perhaps there's a prejudice against such external methods. Maybe we've grown so accustomed to television or film acting that we think of this as the editor's job. Somewhere along the line, we forgot, and the virus is spreading. Actors are infected with the disease of invisibility and inaudibility, and plays, especially classical works, are losing meaning. swallowed up in the incomprehensible garble that actors mumble. Lest you dismiss this issue as one that is limited to beginning actors, I must report witnessing it in some of the most experienced actors I have seen. These actors, clearly quite capable of being entirely possessed by the characters that they play, capturing live human beings to a degree unimaginable by novice performers, bury their words behind thick accents, blurty garbles, and guttural tones. These are actors capable of carrying entire plays on their shoulders, who suck the audience in with the depth of their characterization, who still leave them scratching their heads, wondering what it was they were supposed to have gotten out of the scene. Ask any theater goer, one who attends but does not actually work in the theater, what is the biggest problem that you encounter when you see a show? Without hesitation, 95% of them will tell you, I can't hear what the actors are saying. Footnote. This statistic, like all statistics in this book, are entirely made up. Ask who among you has ever missed the most important moment or speech or scene of a play, and all will raise their hands. We all want to know just why the author has called us here tonight. We may have shown up simply because our friends are in a show, but once we're in the seat, our natural curiosity gets the best of us, and we want to know what the author has to say. And the modern actor runs interference between us and the playwright. Being seen and being heard is even more fundamental than our character objectives. This is a responsibility that lies beneath any character discovery we may layer into our performances. Think it's too obvious? Too easy? I spent 2 hours of an afternoon with actors expressing the nature of this great responsibility. They nodded, laughing and agreeing throughout. I went to dinner, came back and watched these same actors in rehearsal, continuing to mutter their lines and looking down at their shoes, being neither seen nor heard. There are psychological factors in the way, as well as internal arguments to which the actor gives precedence time and again. These things are both persuasive and pervasive, and it takes training and practice to counter them. At the risk of sounding alarmist, I have adapted a well-known quote from Benjamin Franklin for our use. For the want of a consonant, the word was lost. For the want of a word, the line was lost. For the want of a line, the scene was lost. For the want of a scene, the act was lost. For the want of an act, the show was lost. Acting happens at the speed of life. Once that one word has slipped by, there is no picking it back up again. And subsequent lines will be lost in the distracting murmur of, what did he say? This has a domino effect. It is the simplest of responsibilities, and yet the responsibility least fulfilled. We think of ourselves as artists. We arm ourselves with concepts and methods, but we thumb our nose at the people for whom we are supposedly performing. Thanks for joining me for my second video podcast of Acting at the Speed of Life, Conquering Theatrical Style. I hope you come back and join me for more. Subscribe to this channel to make sure you don't miss any of them. These explainer videos are always available for free, and if you subscribe via breakneckshakespeare.com, every once in a while, especially during the summer months, I put up full performances for free. Again, you can pick up this book with an online retailer, or you can order one from me directly at timmooneyRep.com. I also continue to tour my shows around the United States, sometimes around the world. You can find them on my website, breakneckshakespeare.com, or you can hire me to come out and perform for you. Write to me or visit me at timmooneyRep.com. See you on the stage.